So shall we start the class? Yes. Okay, good morning now. Tukaram has joined. Suchita has joined. Divya has joined. Okay. Both the Divyas have joined. Then, okay, only I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 students have joined. Okay, now shall we start? Okay. So here, now, okay, good morning to one and all. Okay. Let us and last time I have covered how to balance the equation, and I know that, and I had also shared two equation for homework so that you should balance it. Followed? I hope that you must have practice. So we'll go to now next topic. Okay, going to study different types of reactions. Okay, that is combination reaction, decomposition reaction, exothermic reaction, endothermic reaction, displacement reaction, then double displacement reaction, oxidation reduction, corrosion, and finally rancidity. So these are the different types of reactions that we are going to study here. So 1, 2, nearly 7 to 8 types of reaction. Then decomposition reaction. In order to carry out the decomposition reaction, you require energy, and energy is supplied in a form of heat, light, and electricity. Followed? Yeah. So now let us see this reaction one by one. Okay, combination reaction, decomposition reaction, exothermic reaction, endothermic reaction, displacement reaction, then rancidity, corrosion, oxidation reduction, double displacement reaction. Okay. Okay, so already we know that in a chemical reaction there are reactants and products, and we know that reactants are written on left hand side of an arrow. So here I will just take a skeletal equation. Okay, now let us say there are two reactants, that is reactant A and reactant B. Now reactant A and reactant B reacts together and they form a single product, that is AB. Now here there are the two reactants A and B, both of them react and they form a single product, that is AB. Followed? So here two reactants, when they combine together, so here what has happened? Two or more reactants, they combine to form a single product. Such reaction is called combination reaction. So when two or more reactants combine to form a single product, such reaction is called as combination reaction. Alright? So as the name suggests, combination means combines. It combines means two reactants will combine together. They will combine together and it will form a single product. So this reaction is known as combination reaction. Followed? So now we'll see the different types of combination reaction. So reaction of calcium oxide with water. So I hope that you must have revised the symbols and formula. Okay, so reaction of calcium oxide with water. See, calcium oxide plus water. Formula of calcium oxide is CaO. Okay, when it combines with water, okay, it forms calcium hydroxide. So here there are two reactants, calcium oxide and water, and it forms a calcium hydroxide, which is known as silicate lime, that is known as lime water. Let us take one more reaction. So burning of coal in air. So when you burn any coal, wood or anything in a chula, okay, on burning, heat is given out. So this burning of coal in air. So coal normally consists of what happen? Carbon. It combines with carbon from the air and it forms carbon dioxide gas. Followed? Similarly, reaction of hydrogen with nitrogen. So hydrogen plus nitrogen, when it combines together, it gives ammonia. So here we have seen in all the three cases, both the reactants have combined together to form a single product. So this reaction is called as what? Combination reaction. That is calcium oxide plus water, it gives calcium hydroxide. Then burning of coal in air, carbon plus oxygen, it forms carbon dioxide. Hydrogen plus nitrogen combines together to give ammonia. Okay. Then when you add calcium oxide to water and if you leave it for 1 or 2 minutes and if you touch the outer part of the beaker, it becomes warm. So means what? Calcium oxide is a white substance and on adding it to the water, okay, after 1 or 2 minutes the bubbles are produced. Here you can see in this picture, and if you touch to the outer part, it becomes warm. So here in this reaction, heat is also given out. It becomes warm means heat is given out. So therefore in such reaction in which the heat is also given out, it is combination as well as it is also a exothermic reaction. Now we'll see some more example. Now here is what? A coal or a charcoal is burned. So upon burning, what happen? The heat is given out. Okay, flame is produced and the heat is given out in a form of heat and light. Energy is produced. Okay, so here a reaction in which heat is given out is called exothermic reaction. Take one more example, burning of natural gas, maybe a LPG gas or a CNG gas. Okay, when it is burned, heat is given out. Okay, a reaction in which heat is given out along with the formation of product, such reaction is called as exothermic reaction. So what are the into compost? Followed? So now let us see one more type of reaction and its difference, that is exothermic reaction, and second type is endothermic reaction. Exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction. So what is exothermic reaction? A reaction in which heat is given out along with the formation of product is called exothermic reaction. Examples: burning of natural gas, respiration, decomposition of vegetable matter into compost. Then what is meant by endothermic reaction? In endothermic reaction, heat is not given out but it is absorbed. So a reaction in which heat is absorbed is known as endothermic reaction. See, a reaction in which heat is absorbed is known as endothermic reaction. So we have seen the first type of reaction, that is combination reaction, exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction. So now let us see second type of reaction. Now here there is a reactant. Here there is a reactant, single reactant, that is AB. Okay, when you heat it, when you supply energy or if you heat it, okay, so it breaks into two or more product. See, so here single reactant AB is a single reactant. When you heat it, if you supply it energy, it breaks into two or more product. Such reaction is called as decomposition reaction. So in decomposition reaction, single reactant break down into two or more products. Such reaction is called as decomposition reaction. See, as the name suggests, Decomposition means to break apart. So there is a breakdown of reactants. So the products which are formed here, they will be the constituent of the reactant. They will not be totally different. They will be the constituent of this reactant. Okay. Now, decomposition reaction is caused by energy. So to carry out the decomposition reaction, you require energy. Now, energy is supplied in a form of heat. You have to heat it in a laboratory. So last time when I did this experiment, you must have seen I have heated it. Okay. Then light means sunlight. You require a sunlight. If you keep it in a sunlight, reaction take place. One simple example of here is that photosynthesis reaction, it occurs in a sunlight only. And third, on passing electric current or electricity. So decomposition, to carry out the decomposition reaction, you require energy, and this energy is supplied in a form of heat, light and electricity. Okay, so first let us try to see decomposition reaction occurring due to heat. Now, when you take a calcium carbonate in a test tube, okay, and if you heat it, it will decompose to form calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas. So let us write a equation. See, so what is the formula of calcium carbonate? CaCO3. When you heat it, it will break down to form CaO, that is calcium oxide, and it will liberate carbon dioxide gas. So calcium carbonate, that is CaO, is calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas. Similarly, if you take a lead nitrate in a test tube, okay, white in color, if you heat it, it will decompose to form, that is a crackling sound it will give, and it will form lead oxide, nitrogen dioxide gas and oxygen gas, that is brown fumes of nitrogen dioxide is given out. See, PbNO3 twice is lead nitrate, PbO is lead oxide, NO2 is nitrogen dioxide. Another chemical compound FeSO4, that is ferrous sulfate. Okay, now this ferrous sulfate, when you heat it, it will decompose to form Fe2O3, that is ferric oxide, and it gives out sulfur dioxide gas. SO2 is sulfur dioxide gas and SO3 is sulfur trioxide gas. So all these three reactions are examples of decomposition reaction occurring due to heat, that is decomposition of calcium carbonate to give calcium oxide carbon dioxide gas, decomposition of lead nitrate, it gives lead oxide PbO plus nitrogen dioxide and oxygen gas, and decomposition of ferrous sulfate, FeSO4 is ferrous sulfate, it gives Fe2O3 sulfur dioxide gas and sulfur trioxide gas. That is a ferrous sulfate and ferric oxide. So here you can see when lead nitrate is heated in a test tube, lead nitrate is a white in color, colorless. Okay, on heating, brown fumes are given out. So these brown fumes, that is a evolution of which gas? Nitrogen dioxide gas, NO2. Follow, no? Yeah. And as well as it also gives out oxygen gas also. But here you can see the brown fumes means nitrogen dioxide gas. Okay. Now, decomposition reaction, second factor, is also carried out in presence of sunlight, that is light. So silver chloride, if you see that AgCl, silver chloride is white in color. When you just keep it in the sunlight or if it is exposed to sunlight, okay, so this silver chloride, it will undergo decomposition to form silver Ag, that is a silver which is a black in color, and it will give out chlorine gas. See, so if it is exposed to sunlight or a light, silver chloride will undergo decomposition and it will form silver which is black in color and chlorine gas. So this is the silver chloride, AgCl. And if it is exposed to sunlight or if it is kept open in sunlight, it will undergo decomposition. Hello, no? Similarly, AgBr, silver bromide. So both silver chloride and silver bromide, okay, when they are exposed to sunlight or in open, they will undergo decomposition. Followed? Yeah. So decomposition of silver chloride, that is AgCl and AgBr, they are used in black and white photography. Earlier those films were there, okay, those films, normally it was used for the silver chloride and silver bromide. So that is the reason why, just to avoid silver chloride from decomposition, to undergo decomposition, so silver chloride, okay, it is stored in amber color bottle. I think you must have seen these types of bottles, okay. Some of the medicines what happen, they are also stored in this brown color bottle, which is also known as amber color bottle. Why? It will not allow the light to pass inside. Certain medicines which are being packed, they are also packed in such type of bottles. So this is the decomposition reaction occurring due to light. Now here you can check your progress. What is the reactant? Already I have covered in the first part. Substances undergoing a change, they are known as reactant. What is product? A new substance formed in a chemical reaction is known as product. What do you mean by exothermic reaction? Okay, you can see my slides or refer the textbook. A reaction in which heat is given out is known as exothermic reaction. What do you mean by endothermic reaction? A reaction in which heat is absorbed. If you touch to the outer part of the test tube, it is normally what? It is cool. Follow, no? So if you just touch to the outer part of your test tube, it is quite cool. It is not hot. So such reaction is known as endothermic reaction. Second, what is the difference between reactants and products? What do you mean by combination reaction? What do you mean by decomposition reaction? Combination reaction is opposite to decomposition reaction. See, in combination reaction, single reactant breaks into two or more products, whereas in in a combination reaction, two or more reactants will combine together to form a single product, whereas in decomposition reaction, single reactants break down into two or more product. So it is just opposite. Okay. So last time I shared this equation to you to balance the equation. That is, potassium metal reacts with water to give potassium hydroxide and hydrogen gas. Zinc metal Zn reacts with silver nitrate AgNO3 to give zinc nitrate and silver. So already you can see this and try to balance this equation. Now third, decomposition reaction occurring due to electricity. When you pass the electricity, okay, a reaction also take place here. So you can take a plastic mug like this, make a hole at the bottom, take two graphite rod which are there in a dry cell, okay, take one test tube, cover it with water and just invert over this. Fill this mug with water. Take care this water do not slide from this test tube and both you. Now when you pass a electric current, what will happen? A reaction will take place. So here electricity causes a chemical reaction. Followed? So on passing electric current, if you just observe here at both the electrode, a gas is given out. So how will you come to know a gas is given out? Okay, so followed? A gas will be given out in a form of bubbles. Okay, and since the gas at both the electrode, see at both the electrode the gas is given out. See, you can see how since the gas is light in weight, slowly it will rise. Slowly it will rise, and it will lighter in color. It will try to go up into the air. Follow, no? So here, when you pass the electric current into this water, okay, so water H2O, it will break apart to form hydrogen and oxygen. So at one electrode the gas given out is hydrogen, and other electrode the gas which is given out is oxygen. So how to know which gas is given out at which electrode? Okay, so cathode is negative sign. Okay, so the gas which is given out here is H, that is hydrogen. Okay, here then anode is positive, having positive charge. Okay, it is positive. So here the gas which is given out will be the oxygen, that is already we have seen in a non-metallic ion oxygen, that is it acquires a charge of O2 minus, so it accepts 2 electrode. So here, so you have to know like this, at cathode the gas is given out is oxygen, at anode the gas is given out is, so at cathode the gas which is given out is hydrogen, and at anode the gas is given out is oxygen. Followed? So here we can see, if we just fit the bubble here, now you can see at the top of the test tube, at one electrode you can see here, that is at the cathode, at one electrode the gas which is given out, okay, whose volume is double than other. So here can you see here also in a form of bubble here, see this gas which is given out is quite double than other. So if you see the formula of oxygen, that is H2O, you see the formula of oxygen, that is H2O, there are 2 atoms of hydrogen and 1 atom of oxygen. So that means here, which is that gas whose volume is double than other? Okay, so that gas is hydrogen gas. Why? Formula of water is H2O, there are 2 atoms of hydrogen. Follow, no? So here when you pass a electric current in the water will decompose to form hydrogen and oxygen. So the gas given out at the cathode, that is a negative sign, is hydrogen, and gas given out at the anode, that is oxygen. Okay, I hope that you are following it. Until here it is okay. So we have seen that decomposition reaction occurring because of energy, that is heat. You have to heat it by using a flame. Second, we have seen decomposition reaction also occurs when it is kept in the sunlight. And third, decomposition reaction occurs because of electricity, also on passing electric current. So this is known as electrolysis of water, which gives hydrogen and oxygen. Okay, so the next reaction is displacement reaction. Okay, now let us take example of this type of reaction. Now here there are 2 reactants, that is reactant A and another reactant BC. Okay, so when you carry out a reaction, A is going to replace B. So reactant A is going to replace another reactant B in a compound. Okay, so what will happen? It will form AC. So when A replaces B, okay, the compound is going to form is AC here. Okay, so a chemical reaction in which one element takes the place of another element in a compound is called displacement reaction. Displace, okay, the change in place. Here one reactant is going to take a place of another reactant. Followed? Such reaction is called as displacement reaction. Followed? FeSO4, that is iron sulfate. Okay, and copper is deposited on the surface of iron here. Now here in this case, a highly reactive element displaces a less reactive element. So if you see the activity series, iron Fe, that is iron, is more reactive than copper, so iron is going to displace copper from copper sulfate solution, and hence it forms a green color ferrous sulfate solution. Similarly, if you place a zinc granules or a zinc which is a quite shining silvery gray color, if you place it in the copper sulfate solution, so zinc is going to displace copper from copper sulfate solution and it forms a zinc sulfate, and copper gets deposited on the surface of zinc. Similarly, lead, if you place it in a copper chloride solution, lead will displace copper here and it will form PbCl2, that is lead chloride and copper. So here all these three are examples of displacement reaction. You can see here, see. Now initially this is copper sulfate solution, which is a blue green in color, blue in color. Okay, this is before, and if you just place the iron nail and leave it for you keep it for 1 day or 2 days, so you'll find that slowly the blue color solution of the copper sulfate, it fade away and nail will turn reddish brown and solution will acquire a green color. Okay, the solution turns green, it is only because of the formation of ferrous sulfate. So here iron will go into solution, okay, and it will form a iron sulfate, it is ferrous sulfate. So here in displacement reaction, highly reactive element displaces a less reactive element. So here we can see some of the questions like, when iron nail is placed in a copper sulfate solution, after 20 minutes the nail turn reddish brown, or a pin. Followed? So why does nail turn reddish brown? Because iron displaces copper from copper sulfate solution, and displaced copper gets deposited on the surface of iron. So what type of reaction is this? It is displacement reaction. So why does solution turns green? I was just trying to show you this, but so why does solution turns green? Solution turns green due to the formation of ferrous sulfate. Okay, so now till now we have seen combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction. Now we'll try to see double displacement reaction. In double displacement reaction, there is a exchange of ions among the reactants. Okay, so in double displacement, earlier we have seen a single displacement. Now here in double displacement reaction, here what happens? There is an exchange of ions among the reactants, not with the products. So here there are the two reactants. They are going to interchange the ions. Okay, negatively charged ion, that is known as anion. Okay, and it will form a product. So ion do not change their charges in ion exchange reaction. Okay, the charges will remain same. See here. Let us take example here. Here there is one reactant AB. Okay, when it gets reacted with another compound, that is a reactant is CD. So AB is one reactant. Okay, when it is reacted with another reactant, that is known as CD. So what will happen? Okay, so D is going to displace here with B. Okay, D will go and join with A here, and A in formation of product, it is going to form AD. Okay, so this D ion has combined with A. It has taken the place of B. Similarly, what will happen to the B now? Now this B reactant, one of the component of this reactant, it will go and combine with C. As a result, it will form CB. Or no? So now here A has combined with D and C has combined with B. So there is exchange of ions among the reactants. There is exchange of ions among the reactants. So such reaction is known as, okay, so arrow which is pointing in a downward direction, that is the precipitate. You will come to know in a next, okay, when you take up a next reaction. So reaction in which there is an exchange of ions between the reactants. So such reaction is called as double displacement reaction. So here there is exchange of ions among the reactants. We'll take one more example, that is sodium sulfate when it is react Na2SO4, sodium sulfate when it is reacted with BaCl2, that is barium chloride. So here I've shown with a red color and with a blue, there will be exchange of ions. So chlorine will combine with sodium and it will form sodium chloride, and sulfate will combine with barium to form a precipitate, white precipitate of barium sulfate. So arrow which is pointing in a downward direction, so arrow which is pointing in a downward direction is nothing but it is a precipitate. Since it is a heavy, it will settle down. Let us see one more reaction. AgNO3 is silver nitrate. AgNO3, silver nitrate. Okay, when it is reacted with sodium chloride, NaCl, that is a common salt. Okay, so there will be the exchange of ions, that is chlorine, it will combine with silver, nitrate NO3, it will combine with sodium, and hence it will form NaNO3, that is a sodium nitrate, and precipitate of silver chloride here. One more equation, that similarly lead nitrate, in the beginning of this chapter I have shown you that in a test tube I have taken the lead nitrate and white in color and potassium iodide. Kr is potassium iodide, PbNO3 twice, Pb is lead, NO3 is nitrate. So what is the name? Lead nitrate. K stand for potassium and I stand for iodine. So in a combined form it is potassium iodide. So I had prepared a solution by adding water, and both means when I add potassium iodide to lead nitrate, what could you see? You could see a orange color precipitate. You could see what? Orange color precipitate of lead iodide. You can see a orange color precipitate of lead iodide. So in double displacement reaction, there is exchange of ions among the reactants, as well as there is also formation of precipitate. Follow, no? So double displacement reaction is also known as precipitate reaction, that we are going to see in a next here. So here again same reaction I have taken here, sodium sulfate plus barium chloride. Okay, so sulfate is going to replace here chlorine. Okay, so chlorine will combine with sodium. As a result, it will form a white precipitate of barium sulfate. So this arrow indicates the precipitate, formation of precipitate, a thick. Okay, and if we allow it for some time, it will settle down. So here a reaction in which an insoluble precipitate is formed is called as precipitate reaction. So how do we come to know a precipitate? It is a quite thick. Okay, sodium sulfate and barium chloride, here the precipitate will be white in color. Similarly, silver nitrate and sodium chloride, the precipitate form will be thick curdy white precipitate of silver chloride. So here this reaction is precipitate reaction here. So silver nitrate plus sodium chloride, here if we add it, we find that there is a precipitate of white precipitate of silver chloride. This is also precipitation. So again lead nitrate plus potassium iodide. Okay, it forms a potassium nitrate and precipitate of lead iodide. So here you can see this reaction. Followed here. So we have seen double displacement and precipitate reaction. Then one more type of reaction known as oxidation reduction reaction. In oxidation reduction reaction, see here in a reaction in which one reactant get oxidized while other get reduced, such reaction is called as what? Oxidation reduction reaction. And oxidation reduction reactions, they are also known as redox reaction. So what is oxidation? Addition of oxygen or removal of hydrogen is known as oxidation. Okay, reduction is what? Addition of hydrogen or removal of oxygen is known as reduction. So here in formation of a product, oxygen is added here. Now see here, carbon when it combines with oxygen, it forms carbon dioxide. So here what has happened? Here carbon has combined with oxygen. So carbon has undergone oxidation. Okay, whenever there is removal of oxygen, it is known as reduction. So in oxidation reduction, one gets oxidized, another gets reduced. Such reaction is called as oxidation reduction reaction. Okay, you can observe this chemical reaction. So magnesium MgO, magnesium plus carbon monoxide, it forms magnesium and carbon dioxide. You can see here in this reaction. In formation of this product, what has happened? Oxygen has been removed here. Oxygen has been removed and it has turned into Mg. Okay. So which compound is reduced here? What is reduction? Removal of oxygen. So here MgO magnesium oxide, in formation of a product, it has become Mg. So here oxygen is removed. So removal of oxygen is known as reduction here. So magnesium oxide has been reduced to magnesium. So which compound has been reduced? Magnesium oxide has been reduced. Why? Oxygen has been removed and it has become Mg. Similarly, which compound is oxidized here? Addition of oxygen is known as oxygen. See, carbon monoxide CO is oxidized to CO2. There is addition of oxygen here. So carbon monoxide is oxidized to carbon dioxide. So carbon monoxide has undergone oxidation. Well, no? So here in this case, both there is one oxidation as well as there is reduction. Therefore, this reaction is known as oxidation reduction reaction, or it is also known as redox reaction. Well, no? Yes. Okay. Now you must have seen at home when you bring any iron objects, when you bring it from the market, they are quite shiny. Okay, and if you leave it for some more days, they lose their shine. Okay, maybe iron objects, iron articles, nail or some other things. Okay, if you leave it, especially in the rainy season and some other, slowly what happens, they turn brown. Okay, well, you know, so this is the formation of brownish layer on the surface of the iron is known as rust. Now apart from that, let us see some more example wherein in iron it gets rusted in a large amount. This is the ship. Followed? Normally it sails in sea and it has got continuous contact with the water. So therefore what happens? This iron plate, it becomes brown. See, nails. When you leave it unused, it becomes brown in color. Brown. Yes. Then gate, ornamental gates. Okay. See these gates also. They get rusted. Then car, scooter, okay, the metallic plate of this car and scooter, it gets turns reddish brown. So all this process is known as rusting. So formation of brown layer on the surface of the iron is known as rusting. Follow, no? So if you just take a sandpaper like this, follow, no? If you just take a sandpaper or a polished paper, and if you just scratch it or if you just rub it, what will happen? The brownish layer will get removed off, and inside you can see a shining substance. Again, if you leave it for some more days, again brownish layer will form. Again, you take a polished paper and rub it. So like this, in this process, what will happen? There will be the loss of iron. So here, whenever there is a loss of this metal, then it is known as corrosion. Here, follow, no? See here. So now, why do this iron corrodes? Why that brownish layer is formed on the surface of the iron? Sometimes you also see this copper articles turning, these copper articles, maybe a brass article, they also turns green. Follow, no? So here we'll now try to see why do the iron, it becomes iron articles, they become reddish brown. What are the factors responsible that? See, these are the nails. You must have seen, quite shining when you bring it from the market. Followed? See. So when they come in contact with air or oxygen, when you leave it open, or they come in contact with water, or when they come in contact with moisture or water, they turn reddish brown. A brownish layer has been formed. Followed? So here the factors responsible for corrosion is air or oxygen, and second, contact with moisture or water. So this process is known as corrosion. Followed? So what are the factors responsible for corrosion? Contact with air or oxygen, and contact with moisture or water. So now how to prevent corrosion? Okay, so in the process of corrosion, a large amount of the metal is lost every year. Follow, no? So we have to protect this iron from corrosion. So normally you must have seen painting the surface, buses, truck, scooter, car, okay, the metallic surface is always painted. One reason is that it looks attractive. Okay, there is also one reason. Follow, no? It looks attractive. Here. So when you just apply the paint, a thin film is just formed over the metallic surface, and this metallic surface will prevent the contact, that film, a thin layer of a paint, it is just going to prevent the contact of that is air or oxygen and water. Even some waterfalls, it slides down. There is no contact with the metal, and hence this metal is prevented from corrosion. Second, applying oil or grease. You must have seen at home, maybe some elder people in your house, they are just putting the needles in a iron, in oil bottles and all other. Okay, needles which is used for stitching and all other. Followed? Here. So here, why these needles are placed in a oil container? Why? Just to prevent it from corrosion. So another factor is that applying oil or a grease. When you just apply oil or a grease, it is prevented from corrosion. Applying oil here. Third, you can do galvanization, giving a coating of less reactive metal over the iron. That is known as galvanization. So you must have seen, these are the sheets, iron sheets, patre. Follow, no? They are quite shining. Actually, these are the galvanized. It is a galvanized iron. Okay. So here, iron is given a coating of less reactive metal, that is zinc. So galvanization is going to prevent from corrosion. Second, alloying it by mixing two or more metals. When alloy is formed, here brass, samai, you must have seen, this is the brass at home. Okay, there is a copper and zinc. When you mix these two metals, what will happen? By the process of alloying, it looks attractive, as well as also it is prevented from corrosion. So what are the how can we prevent the metal from corrosion? That is painting the surface, applying oil or a grease, galvanization, and alloying it. So these are the factors, these are the things that how by we can prevent the iron from corrosion. Then apart from that, in the month of April, May or some other, you must have seen the food which is cooked in your house. Okay, if you don't heat it, make it warm in the afternoon before or maybe in the evening, and late in the evening you find that the food whatever it starts smelling badly, the smell changes slowly, what happen, the taste also changes. So therefore, see, this is the food which is cooked. If you don't heat it, okay, in the afternoon, what happen, smell and taste changes, it gets oxidized. So here when the smell and taste get changes means what, it gets oxidized. But no, and this process is known as rancidity. Okay, so rancidity is a process where the food normally which contains fat or oil, normally some vegetables what we prepare, we cook at home, normally we use oil. So as a result, when they're exposed to air, it gets oxidized and smell and taste changes, and this process is known as rancidity. So how will you prevent the food from getting rancid? So you have to keep the food in airtight container. You have to add antioxidants to fatty food. Okay. Sometimes you must have seen, most of the students, what happen, you like chips. Okay, the chips bag you must have seen. Follow, no? It contains air and there are only 5 to 6 chips. Okay, so why it is filled with something gas? Actually it is not an air. So these chip packets, they are filled with inert nitrogen gas. So nitrogen gas is a inert or inactive. Okay, so that is the reason why this chips packets are filled with nitrogen gas to prevent the chips from getting rancid. Follow, no? So we have seen different types of reaction. Finally at the end, corrosion and rancidity. So how will you prevent the food from turning rancid? That is keeping the food in airtight container, adding antioxidants to fatty food. Also the chips packets, they are filled with nitrogen gas. Follow, no? Here, to prevent it from getting rancid. So I think we have finished almost. Okay. Follow, no? Yeah, only I don't know now. Few students have joined. That is Tukaram, Suchita. You can say hi. You can also see that you can subscribe my this. Okay, then you will able to see the recorded session of this. Okay, okay. So okay, Aishwarya, thank you. Okay. So now you will able to see this video. Okay, so now shall we stop it? Yes. Okay, so if you have any difficulty, you can just post in a WhatsApp group. Okay, anything you have not understood, followed regarding balancing of equation, I'll take one more session and I'll show you. Actually I'll do the work here, that is of writing work, and I'll show you how to balance if you are not understood. Okay, one more, let me ask you one thing, that have you seen those videos? Have you seen the videos? Pilate videos. So thank you students for joining here, followed. So we'll stop here. Okay, what is the difficulty?